Okay, welcome to the next episode of the Lose the Booze Transformation Challenge podcast. We are talking about one key topic in today's podcast, and that involves one of the main things that I see most people struggling to have issues with, and that is the subject of mindful eating. So we have to look at kind of mindfulness as a whole, and we gotta kind of really get a quick understanding that our number one intention here is not to keep telling ourselves what we're doing wrong. It's more to look at the things that we're doing right, the things that we feel successful that we're achieving, and then how can we build from there? Okay. So if you were to start to strategize a way to make sure that you're being mindful in this particular practice, that means you're thinking about the transformation as a whole and not just, oh my God, I don't feel like I'm losing as much weight as I think. Or I hope I'm losing, or I wonder if other people are losing more weight than me. Okay. Goal is to kind of think past that, because what you have to start thinking of, what you have to start visualizing is right now, I've gone through the process of being aware. I know what's coming into my body. I'm getting a better understanding of what's going out of my body. And now, even though there's moments when I want to start digging into possibly factors of I might be eating too much carbs, or I'm not getting enough, protein. Now that these macro things are starting to show up, now I'm starting to want to engage more into those. It's not a bad idea to do so, but got to make sure you don't dig in so deep on something like your lack of carb intake or your extreme carb intake if you're not willing to continue the process that you've been building so far. It's not going to matter, because we also need to see these changes happen over the course of time. That's why it's great that we have 10 weeks. We're at week number 4. So great that we have this much time, because we have the ability to make a small change and then see what happens in about 2 weeks or so on if it's making any differences. So let's look at some things that are all common with all of us right now. 3 to 4 pounds going off, fluctuating. Some of us are doing great, getting about 5 to 6, even possible 7 pounds starting to go off. But there's an issue. I sent a video to a lot of people on Instagram over the weekend that's kind of talking about carbs, because I know that's one of the main things that always pops up. When you're losing weight, that does not mean you're losing fat. You must add in other things to make sure you are truly burning that fat off. And that's where the exercise comes in. That's where the sleep comes in. And then that's where also the diet and nutrition, lowering the alcohol intake or getting rid of it, and little things that you can see, like right here in this presentation, it goes all the way back to what we started with the beginning of the LTB challenge: mind body connection. How is the mind and body connecting to you? And are you able to kind of say, hey, it's not that I can't ever eat these chips again, or it's not that I can't have our margarita during a situation like this. It's now I'm aware of what it actually does to me. So now I got to make a choice. I have no one else to point the finger to but myself if I know that I now have the education of what's going on with this, what it does to me, and if I choose to continue going down that route. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy birthday parties. Enjoy celebrations, whatever it is you have going on. Just make sure you understand that if you're going to keep a consistent path of achieving goals in your body, there has to be this connection that lets you really get an understanding that you're not going to be able to do it if you are allowing yourself to just say, whatever, it is what it is. You know, you have to start kind of getting those type of mind frames out of the mix, because what you have to start saying is, okay, I know what it is. Here it is again, and it's not whatever, you know. I think once you start to bring this into your overall kind of practice, you'll get an understanding. Like mindful eating, I do agree that like it's a great idea to make sure you are thoroughly enjoying your food, not really rushing through. I think that's something that really just kind of points back to what I'm talking about more than anything. We don't want to eat out of anxiety, but there's a constant need, or there's always a rushing. And if we don't stop those habits, it'll never get us, you know, down the route of saying, like, okay, I know I'm doing, not only am I eating stuff the right way, but I know it's digesting the right way. It's not going to come back and hurt me. And we got to remember, it's not that everything we can eat, we can probably go and digest right off the bat, but there are certain things that over time we can build up a tolerance to, and we can start to process these things like dairy and legumes and certain types of dietary things that might, you know, give us restrictions if we overdo it. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying not to overdo anything, but we got to make sure that now that we know what we can eat, now that we know how we are moving from the minute we get out of the bed every single day, now it's time to put all this together and create the plan that is perfect for the middle of this challenge that we're about to get into. When week 5 comes, that is the middle of the challenge. You should have a plan by week 5 of, I know that I can hit this calorie total coming in per week, and I have this many calories going out per week. And now we get to see for the next 2 to 3 weeks if that plan's working, with enough time to even make small adjustments if we need to. If you are not able to write that down and see that, make sure you're telling me this when we do our next meeting, because we should be at that point right now. I should be able to wake up tomorrow and say, Travis, for the next 5 weeks, your goal is 25 to 2,700 calories of food. And you know you're going to be eating about 200 grams of protein. And you know that you're going to sleep at least 6 to 8 hours per day. You're going to work out 4 days out of the week. You're going to spend 1 day of complete relaxation, and then a few days of minor light activity. It's written down. I want to hear your plan. Let's go. All right. What is your plan? Next 5 weeks coming up. What is your plan? Be mindful. You'll be able to figure it out. Okay. So I'll be shooting another podcast out very, very shortly. But our next goal, week 4 weigh-ins, and then we will be doing our next podcast talking about more deeper, tougher subjects. But I know you guys are all good and ready to go for it. So I appreciate you, challengers, LTB challengers. Please don't forget to reach out, ValkyrieFit@outlook.com, if you need any help. I'll see you guys at your weigh-ins. We'll be scheduling your one-on-one Zoom calls coming up. Stay with it, people. You guys are all doing great, and I am super proud of every single one of you. Until next time.